Hi everybody, welcome to another edition of Flex and Reflect, a Sunday sit down. Got some great questions today, so I'm going to tear straight into them. This one's about nutrition. What are the top 3 superfoods you recommend for boosting energy and why? All right, so I'm going to answer this in a couple of ways. Personally, I think the single biggest superfood, if you like, that I have added to my eating over the past 7 years has been anything to do with boosting omega-3. So mainly things like flaxseed, anything that comes from flaxseed / linseed. So flax meal and flaxseed oil, flax seeds as well. But where I get most of it from is flax meal. It's like almost, it looks like crushed up cookies, I suppose. And like I'll put it in smoothies, I'll sprinkle it on food and that kind of stuff. And that's really good. In terms of others, I'm going to put it this way. We think about, like the sexy media endorsed the word superfoods. But I want you to think about this. Rather than trying to focus on 1 or 2 or 3 like superfoods that are going to completely change things for you, I think if you focus on getting more plant-based food into your daily eating, if you focus on getting the right amount of protein in for your eating as well, and then balancing the high energy carbohydrates like things like rice, grains, pasta, breads, those sorts of things, then you'll find that quinoa is another good one. You'll find that your energy levels will just improve. Like the numbers here in Australia are pretty atrocious. It's something like 85% of adults do not get in the recommended daily intake of your vegetables. Now, if you do that, it'll make you feel better. It'll clean you up. It will also clean you up digestively. And you'll just feel so much better and you'll have more energy as a result of it. That in conjunction with getting the right amount of sleep, so like 6 to 8 hours of sleep, getting plenty of fresh water throughout the day as well, is really going to help change how you're feeling and really boost your energy. So try not to just focus on, what are those superfoods I should be eating. Just eat more plant-based food, eat more quality protein sources, and if you want to add things in like your flax meal, like berries are great, things like broccoli and everything. I mean, they're a superfood as well. There are so many plant-based foods that are just they treat them all as superfoods and just consume more of them. So in Australia here, it's 5 to 7 serves of those a day. Most people are probably lucky to get 1 in a day. So over time, that looks pretty horrific for people's health. Next one is on a mindset and motivation. What daily mindset practice do you think contribute most to your success? Well, today I recorded a podcast which is about attitude. And I think when you start to just change your attitude, really have an honest reflection on yourself as to where is your attitude about certain things in your life and how are you performing in relation to those. So we've all hung out with those people that are maybe, their energy is not where yours is. You walk into a room and it's like, oh my God, they're sucking the energy out of the room because it's negative this, negative that. If you think about the attitude that you have in what it is that you can do as opposed to let's just really blow up our limiting beliefs and what we can't do, then that's where you're going to put your focus, right? But if you think, like, I use an example of my schedule over the last 4 days has been really intense. So I had like 4.5 hours sleep yesterday. I had 8 coaching sessions back to back with clients after my 4.5 hours sleep. That's after coming back from Sydney. Didn't get to sleep till about 2 a.m. Up at 6:30, training clients, and back to back until about 2 o'clock. And then I had other things to do with my daughter. I need to go and do some things for my coach. And then I came back home. I had some other things to do around home. And it got to the evening, and now we're talking, it was 9:30, and it's like, man, I'm really tired. I could really just go to sleep. But I said, do you know what? There are people out there working harder than me, and if I focus on being tired, guess what? I'm going to be more tired. But I said, no, I've got to do these things. So I did my neurofeedback training. I did a session in listening to my coach's material. I did some another exercise for work-related marketing stuff as well. And I did, even though I was tired, I said, no, I need to get these done because I know that most people aren't going to be doing this at 10 o'clock on a Saturday night. If I want to get better, I need to do it. And so I said, no, don't focus on being tired. Focus on getting things done and making a difference to your life. And that was really, really powerful for me. So I think if you can just have a look at what is your attitude in relation to things. Am I really positive about things? I used to be very toxic when I was younger, like a young adult. I was very toxic, and it's like, wow, where did that come from? And it was really the environment. It was the work environment. It was also, through my parents as well, a very judgmental household. And I thought, okay, I need to change that because I didn't like that about myself, and I wanted to be better for my kids and better for my clients as well, and better for myself. Like what was running around up here, it's like a merry-go-round of toxicity and limiting beliefs and stuff. And I said, you just got to get that out. Just get rid of that and focus on the things that you know that you're in control of. So I'm in control of what I think about, and focus on the things that make you healthier, like the simple little lifestyle changes that I talk about every week and every day in my podcast. It's the focus on those little things that you can do. Go back and have a listen to what I just said before about the food. Do those things. Just get into a bit of walking every single day. Like if you do focus on one particular element of your life for 18 minutes a day, 7 days a week for the whole year, that's 100 hours. And that will make you better than 97% of people. So just think about that. Attitude. All right, so next one. What are your top tips for someone looking to improve their performance in both personal and professional areas? Okay, well, I would say go back and listen to what I just said. That's really, really important. I think you've got to be a driven person. So I was up in Sydney for a couple of days. I was sitting next to a guy, and he could see that. Like I'm observing what most people are doing around the room that I can see, and the people along the aisle where I was sitting was sitting in tables and chairs and stuff. And most people aren't taking notes or being a bit haphazard with note taking. And me for 2 days, I'm just typing away. And it got to like 5 o'clock on the Saturday, and he said, Friday, and he said, you're really hungry, aren't you? And first off, I thought he was talking about food because of the time and stuff. I said, yeah, actually, I'm a bit hungry. He said, no, I don't eat food. You're just really hungry. He said, well, what creates that for you? Where does that drive come from? And I said, well,
I didn't get that.
Oh, thanks, Siri. I said it probably comes from the fact that, like growing up, I was bullied as a young kid and then into early adulthood as well. And I just made the decision that I wanted to change. And I kind of had this dialogue in my head that I wasn't good enough, I wasn't smart enough, I wasn't going to be as good as this person. So, I just kind of like I was carrying around this big load and anchors, preventing me getting from where it was that I was truly capable of getting there. And then I just decided to let all that stuff go. And I think the hunger and the drive for me now just comes from, I'm proving this to myself. Like, what am I capable of doing? And even though I've achieved a bunch of success, like personally and in my life and for my clients and stuff, it's like, what can I still push to? I don't want to become complacent. I want to just get out the best version of myself all the time. So I think a lot of it comes down to, like I said before, how I fuel myself for my lifestyle every day so I'm energized. Also my attitude towards things, because I just have this continuous growth mindset. And I think if you want to become better professionally, personally, in any area of your life, just focus on how do I become better each and every day, right? Surround yourself with the right type of energy. Make sure that you're listening to good quality content. I do 2 podcasts a day, Mental Toughness and Body Show, and I also do Rob Evans 365. They're available wherever you get your podcast from, Apple, Spotify, wherever, a whole bunch of others. I post on my social media each day, the Mental Toughness and Body Show one. The other ones you'll just find in those platforms. Listen to me. Find those other people that inspire you, aspire you to be somewhere else, and just keeping on working on yourself 7 days a week. Right, 7 days a week. Just focus on how do I do better? How can I practice these things in life that make me better, and practice them every single day, which is why last night, even though I was tired, I did it anyway. All right. Okay, business and financial growth. What strategies have contributed most to the growth of my business? It's a two-part. As a successful entrepreneur, what advice would you give to others aiming for a significant net worth goal? All right, so everything that I just said, again, these are all leading on to each other. You have to be driven. You have to understand what it is that you want, and I think understanding why that's important to you. My reasons have changed over time, and I think it might, let me use a snowball analogy. It might start like a snowflake, but then you're adding more and more things to it, and more, and before you know it, it's getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and you can't lift it anymore because it's so big. But that's what drives you to achieve the success that it is that you want to achieve. The biggest area where I had change was when I started to realize that I need to add more and more value to my clients. And how do I do that? And again, focusing on that continuous improvement mindset. How do I just get better in that area? How do I keep adding more value to my clients? Because if I give them what it is that they need and they want, then I'll get what it is that I want as well in terms of the success of the business. I mean, your bank account and your dollars and everything is how you keep score, but it's what you do, all those other things that take place on a day-to-day basis will determine how successful you are. Like the average like fitness trainer, for instance, earns something like $25,000 a year, $25,000 to $50,000 a year. And I can see why. I mean, I see other trainers out there. Most of them, they do it as a hobby. They're running it as a cash business, so running it illegally, effectively. They're not registered for GST. They're not paying tax on it. I'm generalizing here, but this is not uncommon for those people that are just training out of their garage and doing it on the side. They've got another job as well because they don't know how to run a proper business to sustain it in a full-time capacity. And so many people, just after anywhere between 6 months to 18 months, they tend to walk away from it and go and get another job that they can, where they're working for someone else. I obviously made the decision to make this my life and my lifestyle and make it incredibly successful. And I'm doing that, but I still look to make it even better, because it's like you've got to consistently innovate with your thinking and how you're delivering services, and just keep nurturing those relationships with clients. I've had clients that I've had for 10 years now. And that only comes through building those relationships. So, everything that I said before and what I've just said now is really helped me develop my business growth, my financial growth as well. Also, having that right team around you. You've got to have your right team. So you've got to have the right accounting, the right financial advisors, financial planners, right legal team, etc., so that you know that you're making the right decisions, and that you've got those people professionally to like bounce ideas off and so forth. And also coach. So I've got the #1 wealth coach in the world in my corner that can advise me as what I should do, what I shouldn't do. And he'll just tell me how it is. I say, no, don't do that, Rob. Do not do that. And say, do this instead, and I'll do it. All right, last question. I've probably had this one before to some extent, asking about how do you balance the demands of running a global business with personal. I think the thing to remember is that you can have it all, but you've got to plan it all, you've got to schedule it all, and then you've got to stick to that schedule. So if I was to share my calendar with you here, you could see that every single day I use Google Calendar, and so like if I have it on, say, my iPad here, you've got the whole day stretched out like this. Every single from 5 a.m. through to 9:30 p.m. my whole schedule is blocked out. There are blocks for everything. That means my workout. That means time for say having a lunch break, time for spending it with my daughter, time for doing a workout, a time where I'm coaching clients, time where I've got specific tasks, that I need to perform. I'm scheduling 30-minute blocks, and sometimes they're longer than that, but 30-minute blocks, and I make sure that I've got everything that I want to get done in there. So I use today being Sunday, I use today as a day to set the whole week up for success. I write down what are those key things that I want to achieve by this time next week. I've had an amazingly productive week, which is awesome. But if I showed you the list of things that I've got going on, there's probably 40 40 points on there that I need to do, and some of them require significant work. Am I going to get all of those done next week? No. But if I can make progress in eating into those things, then that's good. And I focus on one thing at a time, get that done, and then move on to that next thing. Then each night I set down what are the key things off that list that I want to work on tomorrow. So if I look at, say, Monday, Wednesdays, Fridays, they are my busiest client-facing days. Right now I am doing 40, this week it goes up to about 44 sessions a week in terms of coaching clients. That can go up to 55 sessions a week as more people start to return from their holidays and that kind of stuff. So it's very busy. So I've got to get all these other things done around my client time. So I know that Tuesdays and Thursdays and the weekends are my better times to progress these other things that I want to. And yeah, it means that I've got to work every day to achieve those things. I take more time out today, like I've done a workout. I take a little bit more time to recover because I was obviously sleep deprived and everything. But that's how I do it. And then I make sure that I'm taking time out to fill my bucket up of energy, love, etc. that I need to keep being able to pour out what's in my bucket each and every day. So that's how I do it. So thanks for all those questions this week. Those are good ones. And I will see you next week.